Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Ohio.
The Indians and Royals meet for the first time this season. These two clubs have represented the American League in each of the last 3 World Series. KC's first trip in 2014 ended much like the Tribe's trip last year, an excruciatingly painful loss in Game 7. But the following season, the Royals wore the crown, and the Indians are now hoping that history will repeat itself this year. It's the first of 19 meetings between these two AL Central powers, and it's next on Sports Time Ohio. Well, after escaping the cold, soggy climate of Detroit, Michigan, we land smack dab in the middle of the heartland, Kansas City, Missouri, where temperatures today in the mid-70s. Beautiful conditions for baseball tonight as the Indians and Royals open a 3-game weekend series. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Arch, when we talk about baseball, you've got to have good hitting to win. You've got to have good pitching. You've got to play good defense. But the pitching really is now split into 2 facets. You need good starters, but if you don't have a good bullpen, you're going to fall short in the end.
Well, that's something the Indians don't have to worry about because their bullpen is as good as it comes right now, and especially at the back end. When you look at Andrew Miller, he has been lights out this year. Cody Allen right behind him. They've got 24 2/3 innings. They've got 42 strikeouts, only 7 walks this year. But when you look back, go back to the beginning of September last year and look at the numbers. I mean, lights out. Miller, 6-0 record, a .6 ERA, just the 10 walks. They don't walk many, and they strike out a lot. And Cody Allen has been the back end, and he's been the save master, and they're a treat to watch. You know, when you hand them the lead, pretty good chance you're going to win the ball game.
They have the great statistics. They have the stuff. But, Rick, they also have that thing that you can't define. They've got the moxie, the guts to pitch in those high leverage situations.
They certainly do. And, you know, they keep getting better and better, feeding off one another. And Allen is outstanding, and he's learning more and more every day.
All right, so it's the Indians and the Royals. We've got more to come from Kauffman Stadium before tonight's first pitch. We'll check in with Andre Knott, who takes us inside the unbelievable hitting mechanics of Francisco Lindor. That's straight ahead. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by WB Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. By your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by Nature Stone, the only concrete solution. Brought to you by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. And by your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. Made in Ohio, Ohio proud. And welcome into Kauffman Stadium here in Kansas City. A beautiful night for baseball as the Indians and Royals renew acquaintances here in the 2017 season. Before we get tonight's ball game underway, though, we want to go downstairs to Andre Knott, who takes us inside Francisco Lindor's incredible mirror-like hitting approach from each side of the plate.
Well, thank you, Matt. If you look at it, you can tell that Francisco Lindor looks very much alike left-handed or right-handed. Then you can look at the numbers, and the numbers will tell you the same exact thing. He's hitting .311 right-handed, .295 left-handed with 5 home runs left-handed. And today, in our Hear Right Sounds of the game, we talked to Frankie about being almost identical right-handed and left-handed.
I had an idea growing up. My dad, at the end of practice, I always wanted to be like my brother, my cousin, and they switch it. And of course, Robbie Alomar, they all switch it. I always wanted to be like them. And my dad, the way he tricked me into doing things the right way was, if you do everything right in practice, I'll let you hit at the end of the day. I'll let you hit lefty. Just a couple of cuts. And so I always had an idea. I always had how to do it. It was always in the back of my head. But then when I went to the States, when I came to the States at 12, 13, I started doing it more by myself because I was in the dorm by myself. And it was just a matter of taking a couple of swings lefty, if I was going to take 60 swings, take most of them lefty because I had to catch up. It was a long way. I had to catch up. And around 14, 15, I would say, that's when I started doing it every day. That's when I said, you know what, I'm going to try to do it every day. And I was scared. My dad didn't want me to switch it. And when my dad found out, he's like, well, you better do it. If you're going to do it, you better do it right. And if you're going to take 100 swings that day, you're not going to take 80 lefty or 80 righty. You're going to take 50 righty, 50 lefty. It don't matter where you are. You're always going to do the same amount of work from both sides. And that's how I do it nowadays. My routine, it don't matter how good I'm feeling from one side. If I feel great or really bad from one side, I still do the same amount of work. So my routine, I'll have 10 swings from the left side. Well, I feel really bad. Well, let me take 5 more. Okay, now I got to take 15 from the right side. So it don't matter how many I do, I got to do the same thing from the other side. And that's why I kind of been sticking almost identical. And also, I don't want to think too much. I don't want to take it to a level where it's my head's spinning. So if I make an adjustment, whether it's dropping my hands, whether it's bringing my hands a little higher up, whether it's picking my leg up, I'm gonna do it from the other side as well. So I could be hitting 800 from the left side, and on the right side I'm hitting 100. Well, I might want to move my hands a little bit back. Well, I'm gonna do the same thing lefty, regardless how whether I'm hitting 1,000. I'm just gonna go and do the same thing. Why? Because those moments throughout the seasons where I have ups and downs, I'm completely lost. I can go on deck and I can be like, well, I stand like this, and I'm feeling great. Well, let me try it from the right side. Got it. That's it. That's all I want. I don't want to do too much. I just want to do everything the exact same way. So when I'm lost, I feel like I know what I got to do. That's all. It's just a matter of looking at myself in the mirror, like, okay, this is what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. Got it. That's it. That's all I want to do.
Very interesting, because what that tells me is it's muscle memory, and he wants to do it from both sides of the plate. And what it does, your brain believes it. That you're doing it the same way, whether it's right-handed or left-handed. And for a guy that hits mostly left-handed because there's more right-handed pitching around, it's incredible that he does the same amount of work every day. So interesting. And it's, we have a lot of switch hitters on this ball club. Do the other guys do the same thing? I wonder, does Ramirez?
I think it's fascinating that he keeps it so simple, too.
Well, he doesn't want us to be, like he says, I don't want it to get into my head, and I don't want to start thinking about it. If you do it one way, I'm going to do it the other way. I think that's outstanding.
We're back with more from Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City right after we take this commercial break. Indians and the Royals. Frankie getting down on Andre. Baseball is brought to you by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. And by the new 2017 Kia Optima. Back here in Kansas City, plenty of storylines with regards to tonight's game, and we will get to those shortly. But for the big story around Major League Baseball, here's Andre Knott.
Well, the big story comes from the New York Yankees, and it's Aaron Judge, the 6'7", 285-pound outfielder who is on fire this week. When we talk about the big story, look at the big fly from the big man. In the last 7 games, he's hitting .520 with 6 home runs and 12 RBI. The Yankees are 11-0 when Judge homers, and they're going farther and farther every time he connects, gentlemen.
Thank you, Andre. We're back with tonight's first pitch from the Indians and the Royals coming up next. He dives, can't get it, he'll go to the wall. Ramirez flying around third, has a 2-run triple, and the Indians have a 2-0 lead. He backs up, plants, makes a good strong throw. Cabrera's trying to go to third. Here's the throw across, double play!
I can't believe he tried to go there.
Well, back goes Geyer. He's at the wall. He makes a fantastic catch, slams into the wall and hangs on. The 2-2 to a deucey. Strike 3 called. This game is over. So the Cleveland Indians 15-12 on the year. Here's their starting lineup presented by Progressive. Carlos Santana in the leadoff spot. Francisco Lindor bats second. Michael Brantley hitting third. Edwin Encarnacion, Jose Ramirez, and Jason Kipnis in the middle. Then it's Lonnie Chisenhall, Abraham Almonte, and Roberto Perez batting ninth.
Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher is going to be Jason Hamill for the Royals. He's making his 6th start, looking for his first win. The Royals are 0-5 in his starts. This guy has a tendency, he hasn't given up a run in the first inning. You know, and they're only hitting like 244 off him the first time through, but the second time through is when his numbers are really scary. And he's going to try and be more aggressive, pound the strike zone. He's been nitpicking a little bit, and he says he hasn't been aggressive with his fastball, so he's going to try and be aggressive a lot more tonight.
Hamill does not use the windup. First pitch in there for a strike. Santana went 2 for 13 in the rain-shortened series against Detroit. Popped in the air. Out goes Alcides Escobar, and the shortstop puts it away, 1 down.
Let's check out that Royals defense for you behind Hamill tonight. It looks like this. In the outfield will be Gordon in left. Kane is in center. Bonifacio over in right. Moustakas at third. Escobar at short. Merrifield is at second. Hosmer at first. Perez doing the catching.
Jerry Davis, the crew chief, will be behind the plate tonight. Pat Hoberg at first base. Rob Drake at second. Tony Randazzo, man hidden by Jason Hamels, over there at third. And a first pitch strike. After Francisco Lindor's 12-game hitting streak ended, he has continued to stay hot with a hit in 21 of his last 25 games. Nice breaking ball, but it's just out of the zone. 1-1. I found it really interesting that Francisco Lindor still adheres to his father's advice when he told him, okay, if you're going to switch, if you're going to take 50 swings from the left side, you better take 50 swings from the right side and do it that way every single day.
That's how you learn. That's what that's what made him who he is. Missed with all 3 off-speed pitches so far. So if you're Frankie, sit down and look for that number 1. Pretty good chance you're going to get it here.
Frankie's dad could have been the star in that show, Father Knows Best.
Yeah, that's true.
The 3-1.
Change up. That was a heater. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was up though, just above the belt. Strike. Hamill ready with the payoff pitch, and shot to third. Moustakas with the background. Or backhand, excuse me, 2 down.
Well, here's Frankie swings from both sides of the plate. Left, yeah, and it's like looking in a mirror. Everything looks identical. So you can see how in that interview that he did, he does exactly what he said. He tries to do the same thing from each side of the plate, and he does.
2 down for Michael Brantley. Indians coming off a series in which they had a tough time getting any offense sustained against the Tiger pitching staff.
Now, they scored 6 runs in the 3 games in Detroit, and they ended up winning the last one 3-2.
Breaking ball in there for a strike. Michael has certainly swung the bat well in this ballpark, which historically has been a good hitter's park, especially for guys who go gap to gap. Not a great power park.
No, it's a good double, triple park.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
You know, we left Detroit, which can be a very spacious outfield from right center all the way over to the left field line. This is just a very expansive outfield. There's as much grass on this field, I think, as any ballpark around that we will see this year. And as an outfielder, you have a lot of ground to cover.
Tried to hold up, but he went around. So Jason Hamill, as always, breezes through the first. The Royals are coming to bat. the Kansas City Royals, brought to you by Hankook Tires. Whit Merrifield in the leadoff spot. Mike Moustakas batting second. Lorenzo Cain third. Hosmer, Perez, Gordon, familiar names in the Royals' middle third. Jorge Bonifacio will be in right field batting seventh. Brandon Moss, the former Indian, will hit eighth, and Alcides Escobar batting ninth. Literally, the Royals lineup tonight goes right, left, all the way through. No switch hitters.
It's almost like a rarity nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah.
It seems like you find a switch hitter or two in every lineup.
But I guess this is the best case scenario if you don't have a switch hitter, is to have the kind of balance Kansas City has, though it has not led to any kind of success offensively thus far. Francisco Lindor throws out Whit Merrifield, and a quick out for Danny Salazar here in the first.
And Danny is our Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher. Salazar making his sixth start. Last year against the Royals, he was 3-0 in his 3 starts against them with a 1.21 ERA. Had a really good year against them. He was 1-0 in this ballpark, and he pitched 6 2/3 innings, gave up 8 hits and 3 runs, a couple of earned runs, only walked 1 and struck out 7. So good place for Danny to pitch.
Just low with the fastball to Mike Moustakas.
So this will be 4 starts in the division now for Danny out of his 6.
Came back with the off-speed pitch, and Moustakas right over the top, 1-1. Three-man shift right side, you see there for Moustakas. And he just powered a fastball by, and that one up to 97 miles an hour.
Looked like very smooth delivery as well. Let's check it out on our Nissan pitch tracker. That thing just was like a little dart going in there.
Down on the dirt with the changeup. I've often heard hitters talk about certain pitchers who the fastball, when it's coming in, it has the illusion that it picks up at the end. Like,
yeah, or it rises, they say. But that's just, it stays on that same plane, and it looks like it's coming up, and it's got that extra little hop to it.
Pop that one back and out of play. And Rick, from your experience, you know, Cody Allen's a guy that can ride the fastball up in the zone and have success. Danny can do it. It's a tough pitch to lay off, which is why guys who can throw hard and keep it consistently
just above the belt, because it's an easier pitch to see as a hitter. You see it come out of his hand, but it's just, it has too much on it. You know, if they can get the barrel head of that bat around a 96, 97, boy, then you better tip your cap. Not an easy thing to do.
Nasty breaking ball down and in, and Moustakas strikes out, 2 down. You know, when you're throwing 97, and then you drop an 88 mile an hour, whether it's a changeup or a breaking ball, it's just.
But watch, it's a field pitch, and it starts out low, and it's only going to bottom out. And when he can throw that pitch down like that, he's going to be unhittable, because the times he gets hurt, he leaves it upstairs, and you just don't have a feel for it. And then it can speed up some of the bats. But right now he has good stuff, and I'm sure his goal is to get through these first couple innings without allowing anything.
Lorenzo Cain looks at a fastball in the dirt, ball 1.
Because what did we say? 11 of his 15 runs given up have come in the first 2 innings.
Yeah. And Tito on Indians Live told me that it's not a case where he's easing into the game. They've stayed on him. They don't want that. They want him to, you know, bring that mentality from the first pitch on. But he just feels like, you know, with a lot of good pitchers, it takes them maybe an inning or 2 to kind of get in the field for what they want to do. And if you're going to get them, you better get them early, because you usually don't get them after that.
That is true. And we say it almost every night. Well, if you see him struggling or having a tough time throwing a certain pitch, you better get it. There you go, that fastball right by Cain. He has a very good fastball, and I mean, it's by him. He may look like he swings hard, but that ball's in the glove by the time he can get it out. You could throw that one again if you wanted to. Slider.
Yanked that one off the dish. And now a full count. I don't think there's anything wrong with his intensity or his adrenaline level, because he is amped up here tonight. The 3-2. Another good fastball, but it popped out of play. You know, when you get to the top end of the fastball like this, anything above 95 miles an hour, with each mile an hour you add at that velocity, I wonder what the difficulty added to trying to hit it becomes.
Squaring it up, very difficult.
Just 1 mile an hour more makes it a lot more difficult, I would think.
I know it does, without overthrowing it. You know, if you don't overthrow it, and that's just your natural, you know, flip, and you let it go. And he looks free and easy to me tonight, coming out here in the first.
That one got away. And a 2-out walk keeps the inning alive.
Well, let's check out that Tribe defense, brought to you by Ram. In the outfield, it's going to be Brantley on left, Chisenhall in center, Almonte over and right. On the infield, the left side of it is Ramirez and Lindor. On the right side is Kipnis and Santana, with Roberto Perez doing the catching.
Eric Hosmer. You see there, Hosmer with just 10 runs batted in, batting cleanup.
Well, this is the guy they must get going. He's the best hitter in that lineup. He's one of the best players in the game, but he has really struggled. You know, and it happens to offenses we talk about a lot, Matt, but you know, you're not scoring many runs. Everybody feels they have to do it on their own. They try to be the hero. They try and hit a 3-run home run with every swing of the bat, whether you have a base runner or not. This is something where this is a team when they were going well and they won the World Series.
Base hit. That'll send Kane all the way to third. And the Royals now threatening with 2 outs in the first inning.
This is a team, they don't walk much. They're last in the league in walks with just 67, but they were like that when they won the World Series. They just put the ball in play. They're very aggressive early, but sometimes now you try and do too much. But there's a pitch. He left a breaking ball up, and it speeds up his bat. So they will go first to third here with 2 outs.
And now, while it may not seem like that much, Salvador Perez has been their best run producer, leading the team with 15 RBIs. In this, their 28th game of the year. Now just think about that for a second. Perez leads the Royals with 15 runs batted in.
Yeah.
The Indians have 4 players in their lineup tonight with more than 15 runs batted in.
Right, and one at 13. So, yeah, that's a tough go.
Salazar taking a little off, evens the count at 1-1.
You know, it doesn't matter though. Even though the Indians, they won 14 games against these Royals last year, and 14-5. The Royals won 4 of those games in this ballpark, but the Indians still played well, and they've beaten them 8 straight times. The Indians have.
Swung on and missed. It's 1-2.
Expanding the strike zone. That's a pitch that you're not going to hit. You couldn't hit it with a boat oar. That thing was down in the left-handed batter's box, but he got him to chase it.
That's out of play. Since the Royals came to Kansas City in 1969, the Indians have only had one winning streak longer than the current 8-game streak they have against KC. That came back in '05 when the Indians beat them 10 straight times. Now the 1-2. Swung out and missed. He chased a pitch in the other batter's box, and the inning is over. Salazar strikes out 2. And we are scoreless after 1. For Cleveland, Edwin Encarnacion, Jose Ramirez, and Jason Kipnis duo. Low fastball, and it's 2-0 for Encarnacion in his last 18 games. 14 hits, but he has drawn 12 walks to go along with the 14 hits. It's been slow going. Pops him up, shallow center, into right, and Bonifacio there to grab it. 1 down. Storylines are brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Jose Ramirez, who comes to the plate, comes into tonight 4th best in the American League with 23 runs batted in. And Danny Salazar trying to exercise the early inning demons that have plagued him. 11 earned runs in the first 2 innings this year. He's only given up 15 runs total this season. So if he can get through the early innings, he's got a chance to pitch the Indians to a series opening win. Jose Ramirez batting with the bases empty. Stat of the game brought to you by Buick. And since the start of last year, Ramirez 5th in batting average, 5th with runners in scoring position. Down and in. 2-1.
That seems to be his chase pitch, that little slider down and in that try to get you to swing it over the top. And that's his pitch that, you know, if he can prove he can throw his fastball for strikes, you may see some left-handers swinging at it.
Pitch. And that's outside. So Jose Ramirez draws a 1-out walk. First base runner for Cleveland, and it's going to bring up Jason Kipnis.
For Jason Hamill, this is his 6th start against the Indians in his career. His first since 2015.
Ground ball up the middle, and it's through. Kipnis has a single. Ramirez heads to third. The Indians at the corners with 1 out here in the 2nd inning. That snaps an 0 for 10 for Kipnis.
Well, he gets on that first little 2-seam fastball there and gets enough of it, gets it through the infield for a base hit. You're going to see Merrifield diving after it, but comes up a little short on his way to third, and the Indians in business with an opportunity to put a run on the board.
Down and in. Lonnie has batted .407 so far this year with runners on base. Chased one downstairs, and the count is 1-1. And the whole key, I think, at baseball, when you think about it, is generating scoring chances. And for the Indians, since the All-Star break of a year ago, they have generated more opportunities with runners in scoring position than any team in baseball.
Yeah, you keep giving yourself opportunities. Sooner or later, you're going to cash in.
You figure the odds are going to tip in your favor.
Absolutely.
Kipnis draws a throw. To give you those numbers, and I don't know, these numbers, I don't know how if they register for you, but 464 out of their last 1,393 plate appearances have come with runners in scoring position. Lonnie pulls it foul over into the Kansas City dugout. And Hamill gets ahead, 1-2. Indians looking for an early lead here.
Well, if you're Ramirez at third, this could be a breaking ball down and in like he got him to swing over the first time. Be careful in the dirt.
He threw the breaking ball, and Lonnie goes over the top. Second strikeout for Hamill, 2 down on the inning.
Gonna go right down and in on that breaking ball. That's his pitch. He doesn't throw it for a strike. But, you know, it's got sharp bite to it, and he gets you to chase it when he gets the 2 strikes. So if he's proving to those left-handers that he can throw that fastball, that's a pitch that'll be effective for him.
Abraham Almonte, switch hitter. Went 0 for 8 in Detroit. Kansas City pitchers have already thrown 11 wild pitches this year, and that's hard to believe because Perez is about as good as there is when it comes to knocking the ball down or keeping it in front of him.
Yes, he's like throwing it to a batting cage.
So if you're throwing 11 wild pitches, they must really be wild.
Yeah.
Takes another strike, and he's in the hole 1-2. Now Hamill leads the staff with 3, but you can see with that breaking ball, you know, if he gets
down
a really nasty one, as you said, you get those side-to-side breaking balls, they kick one way and go the other direction. Struck him out. Almonte's woes continue at the plate, and the Indians strand a pair. Middle of the second, no score. Each team with an early scoring opportunity, but unable to cash in. Kansas City's came with 2 out in the first inning when they had runners at the corners. The Indians had first and third with 1 out in the second, but could not get the big hit. Alex Gordon leads it off and looks at a ball down low. Gordon just 3 for his last 16 at the plate. Off to a slow start offensively with just a 188 batting average. And it's interesting to me because so much of the talk surrounding this Kansas City ball club is how will they handle the impending free agency status of 5 of their key guys? Will that wear on them? Will it be in their head mentally? Here's a guy who's signed long term. Shouldn't have a care in the world, right? And he's hitting 188, so sometimes that talk's a little overblown.
Yeah, it is. I mean, they're in a situation that, look, He had his free agency came up. He ended up, he was out there. There were other teams that wanted him. They ended up signing him, gave him a boatload of money. But if there's only the one out there right now that I think they would try to sign would be Eric Hosmer, because he's the best player out of the bunch. But you know, it's different than what he used to be. When you lose that a free agent now, you don't get any compensation for him, where you used to get maybe a #1 draft pick or something like that. So that's changed. So if they feel that they're not going to be able to come back in this division and put it together, then they may start trading some players and building.
Jorge Bonifacio waits on deck. Salazar with a 3-2. Weak ground ball right back to him. 1 down. Tomorrow only on FS1. It's the Indians and the Royals. Coverage begins at 3. First pitch 4:15 Eastern time. Trevor Bauer will go for the Tribe. Justin Kutcher and Eric Karras will have the call. Then on Fox, Yankees Cubs at 7 o'clock. One down for Danny Salazar here in inning number 2.
Game.
Swing and a miss. By the way, the Indians are not starting Bauer tomorrow. It's going to be Josh Tomlin tomorrow. And then Terry told me before the game on Sunday they're going to pitch Mike Clevenger. He'll get the call up. And then Bauer will pitch. Or would that be
probably Monday
in Toronto?
Yep.
Jorge Bonifacio takes up high 1-2. His older brother Emilio Bonifacio played here in Kansas City. Foul away. Let's go down to Andre.
Quick clarification on Bauer. He will start in Toronto versus the Blue Jays. They want to give him an extra day to have a side with Mickey Callaway to work on a couple things. Also, Clevenger will be working on his normal 4 days rest. That's why they're going to let him pitch on Sunday. Just a clarification of why guys are going when they're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Bauer and let me see, Kluber and Carrasco. They were out there with Mickey Callaway today in that bullpen for a while.
Third strikeout for Danny Salazar, 2 down. Terry felt like it would be beneficial for a guy like Bauer especially to have an extra, he said, even if it's like a half side session with Mickey Callaway. Trevor likes to work things out. He wants to make sure that, you know, if I want to work a little more on this pitch or that particular pitch, and that'll give him an opportunity to do that.
Also with Bauer, he wasn't happy with his fastball that he couldn't command it for a strike in Detroit. So they're working on controlling the fastball a little bit. And that was Kluber watching Carrasco. I can give you an update on Kluber a little bit later on if you need it.
Yeah, Tito said that, Andre said that when they got to Toronto, they would probably reevaluate Corey and see if he's ready to start the process in which he would start in 5 days, or if maybe he needed a little bit more time. So hopefully Corey continues to progress with the back ailment. Brandon Moss taking, that's a strike, 2-1. Moss hitting just $167 as you see there. Did not play yesterday. Swing and a miss over the top. He has reached safely in 5 straight that he's played in. He played 94 games with the Indians 2 years ago. I think all in all it was a sometimes frustrating experience for him. I think he came in and he really wanted to do well, may have tried too hard at times. He ended up hitting 15 home runs that year. The 3-2. But I remember there were times we mentioned this, I think, when we were home last time.
Yes, we did.
You know, he hit some balls a ton But on the days he hit him, the wind was blowing in. It was cold. The ball just didn't carry at times, and it almost like it got in his head.
He wasn't playing the elements right. It was when that wind was blowing in and it was cold in April, he would hit some nice bolts and
need your line drive swing.
Nowhere. Yes, indeed.
Open stance for Moss. 3-2 pitch. And it's just inside. So ball 4. Second time in as many innings. Danny gets the 2 outs and walks the next hitter.
Well, MLB TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market game live at home, in the office, or on the go for just $19.99. You can visit MLB TV for the details.
I suppose in this one aspect, watching Salazar must have been what it was like watching Nolan Ryan in his early days, in that he had the ability to strike out the side, but he could walk a lot of guys as well.
The walks would be up there, yes. Danny now with 16 walks, but he has 45 strikeouts. That's the thing that really makes him tough, because when you walk people, you get base runners. He has the capabilities of getting swings and misses and striking out the side if need be.
And not a lot of guys put the ball in play because it's hard to put it in play against him.
And I mean, but that's the one thing that can hurt him in the long run of going deep into a ball game, because if they do foul off pitches, they make him throw a lot early if he doesn't have his command.
Popped him up. Lindor backpedaling. Brantley coming in. Michael calls him off, and the inning is over. 2 in the books, no score in Kansas City. Evening. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning, Andre Knott as usual, and we're joined now by Justin Kutcher, who will call tomorrow's telecast on the national game on FS1 between the Indians and Royals, along with Eric Harris. Justin, welcome.
Well, thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
How's things going?
Things are great. I mean, I love this ballpark. I can't wait for the game tomorrow night. And first time seeing the Indians for me this year. And I'll see them a few more times. But I'll be honest with you guys, this is the team that I had picked preseason to be the American League representative for the World Series. So I don't think they've hit their stride. I think we would all agree with that. But they are a dangerous team, and one that I can't wait to see.
Well, their bullpen's pitching very well right now, and they got a couple of guys that have pretty much carried them earlier when you look at Lindor and Ramirez, who have been very, very good.
Yeah, I look at Lindor, and it's funny, we talk so often about the young guys in the sport, and it seems like whenever we're talking about young guys, we come back to that shortstop position. It's amazing the depth at shortstop right now in Major League Baseball.
Yes.
And then you marvel at just how good Lindor is. And what I'm amazed about is how he never seems to cave under pressure. He almost steps up his game in the pressure moments.
The game never really speeds up on him. Yeah, it's incredible at his age. It reminds you of back in the 90s with the shortstop position, doesn't it?
It really does. And it's funny you say that, because I was thinking back to that when I was flying out here today and thinking about Lindor and Derek Jeter. He always seemed to play well come postseason, and he always said, I just treated it like any other game. And I get the sense that's what Lindor does in all these big moments and all these big games.
Hit hard by Perez, but foul, and it's a full count. You know, baseball is obviously so much different than football, but when you think football, the quarterback position gets a lot of attention. It's a lot of the dollars. I suppose if there's a close comparison, shortstop would be it in baseball. The big difference is you don't have the ball in your hands on every play.
Yeah, shortstop, I mean, you're the leader of the infields, and for the Indians to have a guy like Lindor at his age with his talent, to know that he's going to be your anchor for as long as he's there, that is such a great luxury to have. And you know, I think back to last year's postseason run in the World Series, and even before the game, speaking with Michael Brantley, it's amazing to think that what the Indians did without Brantley, without some of their starting pitchers, and still to force a Game 7 in the World Series.
Well, that's the funny thing, because when you're missing one of your best bats, usually you're going to hear it as an excuse. You know, they never really mentioned it because of the play of like a Jose Ramirez, who stepped up and really carried it for a while.
Roberto Perez drawing the leadoff walk, and that's going to bring up Carlos Santana, who popped up on the infield his first time up. And this is where things get interesting, at least so far this year, for Jason Hamill. First time through the order, as per the norm. He got through it okay, unscathed. Second time around, though, that's when his problems have really been tough to overcome.
Yeah, 19 for 50 that second time through. In his last two starts, he's lasted just 3 innings in each start.
Justin, when you think back to a year ago, the World Series in particular, how it ended, it's going to go down in history as one of the most memorable World Series. Maybe not one of the best played, you know, for all 7 games, but the drama, the long wait for the Cubs fans, the long wait for the Indians fans. I mean, I know you're from New England, so you're familiar with how Red Sox fans waited seemingly forever before they got their first taste of the World Championship. Were you drawn in just as a baseball fan to watching last year's Fall Classic?
Oh my gosh, of course. I mean, how could you not? It was awesome. I mean, to have those two teams, to force a Game 7. You know, it's funny, you think about that. I think back to 01 and the Yankees and the Diamondbacks, and people think about that as a great World Series.
Yeah.
You know, you had games really 4, 5, and 7 in that series that were phenomenal. 1, 2, 6 were terrible. But you remember
the finish
in Game 7, and the 2 games 4 and 5 in New York, when you had Mr. November and Derek Jeter, and you had Brocious hitting the home run. And I was in the booth with Joe Buck and Tim McCarver for that game. I was doing stats, and the booth was literally shaking.
Yeah.
And Joe made the call, and then he turned around and mouthed to me like, "Are you
kidding me?"
Yes. And I mean, that was incredible. But that's kind of what I looked at with last year's World Series, where not every game was epic, but the moments that you needed them to be, they were.
Yeah, something special for everybody.
Carlos Santana with a 2-2 count, takes down low, full count. Well, nothing new with Santana working the count.
I mean, I can't imagine what all the viewers right now were thinking last year when Rajai Davis hit that home run.
Well, you could see it in the plaza over there between, you know, the queue and the ballpark erupted. It was unbelievable. I mean,
I was watching on my couch at home, and I just I had like a smile because I was in shock. I had no rooting interest, and it was just incredible.
Routine fly ball to center. Lorenzo Cain puts it away, 1 down. Well, let's go ahead and take a look back.
sure, you say it, you shall receive. You see how much he was choking up. Rajai never choked up before. But facing Aroldis Chapman, it hit the cameraman.
I mean, it was.
Yeah, at that point in time, everybody felt that they were going to come back and win that thing.
I mean, even just watching it right now, I'm still stunned.
Francisco Lindor grounded out. His first time up. Takes a strike. Here it is from the camera. They got doinked.
Right into your living room.
I love that shot. That's just amazing.
There's that plaza you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's funny. I don't like watching games that I truly care about with a bunch of people at that moment.
And he stayed on the bag somehow, and at least for the moment, they say that Escobar missed it on the tag. We'll see if Ned Yost wants the challenge.
It looked like he kept his hand on the bag. How about that for speed? Roberto stealing his first base. You sure he didn't pitch out of the full windup?
Rob Drake on the call. Ned Yost will challenge.
Okay.
He's safe there, but he came off the bag, didn't he?
Let's see. Yeah, probably if he still had the tag on him.
So here's what I want to do. Here's my petition to Major League Baseball. Perez did everything he's supposed to do right there.
Yeah.
Right? Go back to having bags as opposed to bases.
Oh, that could slide out?
That are just, they're softer. They're not going to slide away. But this way, the physics of it, you can't stop yourself from not breaking your ankle.
If anything, he probably should have slid maybe a little bit earlier.
But couldn't we somehow amend the rule to say once you gain possession of the bag, as long as you don't give up possession of the bag, if you come off slightly, but as long as your body is staying through the bag on the slide, you should be safe. And they're going to call him out. I understand why, because if you come off for an instant, if the tag is being applied, you're out. But to your point, Justin, if you're going in there full speed, there's a good chance a part of your body is going to come off. But as long as you don't overslide the bag and lose possession of it.
And the other part is the unintended consequences, right? If I'm teaching a guy now to go in, what do? If the guy's going to hold the tag on you, you go in with your cleats on the glove trying to spike the guy.
Well, you have to. You should, if you can. A lot of guys like to slide, hands first. But you know what? If you do that, they can drop a knee and they can stop you from getting into the bag. So you go in there with your cleats. I agree.
And so if that's the case, you're going to, if you want player safety, you're going to go in cleat first. Somebody's going to get, stitches in their wrist. It's going to cause a problem. Then you're going to have a brawl breakout.
That's okay. We don't mind that.
No.
That's old school baseball.
That is old school baseball. So I think there's got to be some sort of solution, whether it's having, not maintain possession, but if you have slid through, but you've done it the right way, not be called out, or change it to go into old school bags where your ankle's not going to snap if you stay.
They are hard. They are very hard.
Because I hate that rule.
2-2 to Lindor. Foul back. And I think, look, once you've implemented instant replay, if you're going to stay with it, then we might as well be able to tweak it as we go, because it's not perfect. It's not a perfect system, but you can work towards making it better. Hamels 2-2. Lindor went down and chased it, and he strikes out to end the inning. 4 Ks through 3 for Jason Hamill. Have a great call tomorrow, Justin. Thanks for stopping by.
Appreciate it. Enjoy the day off.
All right. Yeah, thanks.
To look forward to Miller time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite. What do you got there, Arch?
I don't know.
Those strawberries?
Yes, you're absolutely right. You must have been down to visit that earlier.
Just a wild guess.
Yeah, I could see it. You still got a little chocolate on your chin.
Whit Merrifield grounded out his only time up.
Good pitch right there.
Nails that outside corner.
Yeah, excellent pitch. Danny's getting good movement on his pitches.
He has walked 2, struck out 3. He's given up 1 hit. And he's ahead of Merrifield, a ball and 2 strikes.
And he's had an excellent changeup to this point. You know, sometimes earlier in the game it's been a roller. Not tonight.
Stays alive. Hit hard but foul. Up high. In the air, left center. Brantley cruising over and makes the catch. 1 away.
Talk about Danny's changeup being very good tonight. You check it out. Look at the downward movement on that ball, and it's, I mean, it starts out low, and by the time they go after it, it's not even close to being hittable. And then you're going to see right at the very end, they're all good changeups. Watch the heater. Look at how you supposed to, you know. You can only hit one of the two, and if he throws a good changeup, I don't think you're going to hit it anyway. So you may want to just rely on that fastball.
Two-seamer came over the inside corner. I mean, that's, I say two-seamer. I don't know. It's 96 miles an hour.
Yeah, but it runs. It's got great movement. You know, I wanted to know. It looked like too, with some of the times I've watched him pitching. I don't know if his arm angle is maybe just a little bit down where that ball's taken off more than it normally did.
We haven't seen as many misses up out of the strike zone.
No, his ball has been down more, a lot more than it has been. I mean, he can get away with it throwing that fastball just about above the belt. You know, I think I've only seen him throw 1 slider tonight. I haven't seen a curveball yet. So it's basically been the fastball changeup.
But he's closing in on 60 pitches already here in the third, and that's where he could use some efficiency from time to time.
Well, you wish people would put some of the pitches in play on him, but he can't. They swing and miss, or they foul it off. You want him to be put in play. It's tough for him to have an 8 or a 9 pitch inning unless somebody puts it in play.
Swung on and missed. He gets the strikeout. He's had one, and at least one in every inning so far tonight. Let's go downstairs to Andre.
Well, a lot has been made about the first 2 inning woes that Danny Salazar's had this year, and talking to him over the last 2 days, and even talking to Mickey Callaway, they almost went away from talking about that. I know what you said earlier, or what Tito said, hey, good pitchers give it up early. They wanted to get that out of his mind. He even told me yesterday, he said, I want to pitch in Detroit, and I want to pitch right now. I'm ready to get rid of that, and I'm ready to stick having those conversations. I think it's almost like a mental thing right now. You know what I mean? You guys know what I mean? Like, he didn't want to talk about it. He wanted to go out and pitch. He was ready to pitch. He was sick of dealing with the first inning issues. And it looks like psychology-wise, maybe it was the best way to go about it.
Well, I don't disagree with you, Andre, but you know what? Think about it. He's had an extra day rest, too. So he's that 1 day stronger.
Oh, nice.
There's the breaking ball. This one just freezes him after he chased that first one down in the dirt. Just, oh boy. Now you're down 0-2. What do I look for? How about that? A changeup. So with 2 outs, he can't get that final out. It's taken him a couple of batters in every inning. He was able to retire the first 2 batters. And the first 2, he walked the next guy. This guy an 0-2 base hit. And there's one that stayed up, and it was just an emergency swing. If that would have been a fastball, it wouldn't even have been close.
It would have been inning over. Eric Hosmer, base hit in the first inning. That came with 2 outs. Ripped. And Kane will go to third. Hosmer makes it into second base. A 2-out double for the Royals. And once again, Salazar having trouble with 2 outs, just getting out of the inning.
Well, that's a fastball in, and you can see he can hit it. He didn't miss it. He gets it under the glove of Santana. And Kane, who can run, he was thinking of scoring, and it was a late hold sign, but they had to hold it because they got it in a hurry. So now you're going to give Perez an opportunity with 2 out like you did back in the first inning.
Now, first time up, Perez, he struck out on a ball that was literally in the other batter's box, so he was aggressive. And there's a fastball for a strike. Perez, a guy that doesn't walk a lot. He has 3 walks on the year.
Yeah, how about that? He likes to get up there. He always has. Since his first day, he's coming to the big leagues. He's always been a very aggressive hitter. But you got to take that into consideration because first base is open. The Royals as a team have only walked 69 times this year. That's last in the league. And you can see the pitch count from Salazar. Boy, he's been able to get the first 2 outs, but he just hasn't been able to get that 3rd out. He's had to work his way to get out of innings. So he's over the 60 pitch mark.
Popped up. Is it playable? Santana over to the rolled up tarp. Cannot get to it. By the way, for Perez, if you're wondering about that sample size, he's had 102 plate appearances with 3 walks. Now that's not to say he's going to be swinging from his heels with 2 strikes. He can work the count.
So you're going to get him to chase. You will. He doesn't want to walk. This is a Royals team overall that really don't like to walk.
Low and away. And there goes Perez out to talk to Salazar. Danny came in with the best mark in the American League, averaging 13 strikeouts per 9 innings. The 1-2. Out of play. He's ahead of Sale.
The one thing that Sale does different than Danny Salazar, he gets the ball, he works quickly, and he throws more strikes. That's why He's had, what, 5 straight games and 10 or more strikeouts. But he pitches deep into the game.
Swung out and missed. He struck him out to end the inning. So 2 stranded for the Royals. They've left 5 through 3 innings. Worked his way through 3 scoreless frames, but the Indians offensively have managed just 1 hit through 3 innings against Jason Hamill, who came in with an ERA of .665 in 5 starts. Michael Brantley, Edwin Encarnacion, and Jose Ramirez due up here in the 4th.
Well, Hamill has 4 strikeouts. He's been able to get the lefties to swing at that down and in, or that back foot breaking ball.
Missed up and in on the breaking ball. Brantley, over his last 16 games, has scored 14 runs. He's driven in 12. He takes high 2-1. Michael Brantley represents that patient offensive approach, and so far this year the Indians have swung at 43.5% of the pitches that they have seen. That's the lowest percentage in baseball. The Royals have swung more than anybody.
There you
Almost
go.
50% of the pitches they've seen, they've swung at. Brantley chops up the middle. Hamill got a piece, and that enables them to retire Brantley, as that one will go down on the scoreboard. 1-4-3.
Yeah, he deflected it. It slowed it down. It would have been a base hit had he not touched it. That would have been into center field, but he was able right there. Just a little bit of the glove action. It slows it down. Merrifield able to get it and throw Brantley out at first base.
So many times you'll see a pitcher stick a glove out and it'll go sideways.
Yeah.
And that enables the guy to end up getting an infield hit. That couldn't have worked out any better for Hamill. First pitch strike to Encarnacion. That's hit well. Deep left. Back is Gordon. He's on the track at the wall. It is gone. Edwin Encarnacion with his 5th home run of the year stakes the Indians to a 1-0 lead. He took aim at the camera operator just as Rajay Davis did last year in Game 7 of the World Series. We just showed that film a little while ago.
Well, he has good numbers coming into this ball game. That's his 4th career homer off Hamill. He's going to be our Yellowwood bringing the lumber. And he did. Line drive out of here. His 5th home run of the year. So the Indians will take a 1-0 lead with one swing of the bat. He knew it.
Ed will send you a bill for the camera damage.
That's only the 2nd home run allowed by Hamill this year.
That's hard to believe when you look at his numbers.
Well, yeah, he's given up, you know, more hits than innings pitched. You know, he's walked 13, but they've been hitting him, but he's keeping them in the ballpark up until that swing.
He comes right back and gets 2 quick strikes on Jose Ramirez. He almost chased after it, but held up.
Let's see where that camera is.
Oh, doink.
Doink is right.
Look at him. He's checking it out right away, looking for the damage.
Yes, he's held responsible.
You dented my fender. You better have insurance. Swing and a fly ball to right. Bonifacio makes the catch. And there are 2 away.
There he
See,
is.
I can't even see a scratch. Although this game is being televised in 4K, so these are very expensive
Yes,
cameras.
they are. More
Steve
so.
Warren, I'm told, is being revived in the truck right now.
Okay. It's coming out of his pocket.
Here is Jason Kipnis, singled his first time up, takes outside. Ball 1. Kipnis had a base hit in the 2nd inning, and it looked like the Indians were going to jump out to the lead at that point. His hit sent Ramirez to 3rd. Indians had him at the corners with 1 out. The back-to-back strikeouts by Hamill got him out of the inning. Yeah, it's a little low and away. 3-1. Smoke deep right near the line. It's a fair ball at the top of the wall, and Kipnis will have himself a 2-out double. Just missed hitting one out of here.
Yeah, that hit about what, halfway up the wall there, right down the line. And it kicked back to Bonifacio out there and right. So Jason now 2 for 2 tonight. You watch this pitch. It's a fastball inside. He took the 2-0 heater in there. He wasn't taking this one. And watch where that one hits off the wall. Ricochets back to him, and for Kipnis, that is going to be his very first double of the year.
That was a lot higher up. That was very close to getting out of here. Lonnie Chisenhall now looking for a 2-out hit. Struck out his first time up. Gamble with the 0-1. And he pulls it foul. Mike Bachta tells me that Lonnie Chisenhall, when you talk about hitting in the clutch, 10 of his 13 RBIs have come with 2 outs.
Yeah. He's going to have to work hard down in the count 0-2 here.
See if he goes right back at him with that breaking ball down and in.
Why not? I mean, oh, he's setting it up. Use that high fastball. Really didn't have a chance to swing at that pitch, but I think that's just changing the eye level to bring it right back down and in. That's where he got him the first time to swing over it. See if he uses that high fastball as a setup.
He did. He went right back to it and got him again. But Edwin Encarnacion has given the Indians a 1-0 lead with his 5th home run of the year.
Voten por mi compañero Francisco Lindor, Jason Kinney, Michael Bradley, Carlos Santana, Edwin Encarnacion y voten por mí también. Go Try.
Attaboy, Ozzie.
That's right. Vote for your Indians for the All-Star.
Beautiful Kauffman Stadium here in Kansas City, renovated extensively several years back. Still one of the really beautiful ballparks in the game. Alex Gordon leading off here in the 4th. Hit a comebacker to the mound his first time up.
But I know for you, for one thing, if you could change this ballpark, it's those scoreboards out in the outfield wall.
Yes,
Listen,
I don't like that. That's the just from purely selfish announcer standpoint.
well, it's tough to pick up the ball sometimes. I understand.
Popped up foul, out of play. Yeah, when the ball gets in the area of those LED boards, it makes it almost impossible to see. Especially if there's any that, like to the left with white numbers on.
Yeah.
Gordon shoots it high and foul, out of play.
Yeah, they use those as their out-of-town scoreboard a lot. Some advertising out there, but it's right in the alleys.
White Sox out to an early lead on the, or rather the Orioles out to the lead on the White Sox, 2-0 in the 7th. Downstairs. 3-2. I believe that's the 4th full count that Salazar has had here tonight. Chopper to first, Santana, easy play. 1 down.
Well, great seats remain for the Indians' first Sugardale Dollar Dog Night. That'll take place a week from tonight, May 12th. You can grab a $13 district ticket presented by Sports Time Ohio, or a $10 KeyBank Kids ticket, online only. Just go to Indians.com for the tickets. Dollar Dog Night coming in. First one of the year. Tonight marks Kansas City's first fireworks show after the ball game.
Jorge Bonifacio looks at a breaking ball low and away. Danny gets ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Almost chased after it, but held up. Jorge Soler is on the disabled list. He came over from the Cubs, and obviously they feel like he's a guy that will be in their outfield, but he's got dealing with an oblique injury. Hit hard, and Ramirez couldn't hang on. It'll be a 1-out single for Bonifacio.
Yeah, that was one of those balls that was a tough hop. He had to play it off to the side, and it had some top spin to it. And that's just a do or die play. You see, it's tough to keep that glove down and then come up with it right there. That was just one of those hops. Awfully tough as a third baseman. It would have been, if he catches it, then he gets that out, but it do or die. So Salazar stops this inning, where he was able to get the first 2 guys out in the first 3 innings, and then they got somebody to reach base every inning.
Fouled right back, and it's quickly 0-2. Down in the dirt. So far for Danny Salazar, 5 strikeouts. In addition to the 5 strikeouts, he's had 3 ground ball outs, 2 fly balls hit to left field. Indians have the shift on for Moss. Swung on and missed. He comes back and strikes him out.
He was patient up until that point.
And that gives him 6 Ks on the evening.
He was patient on the off-speed pitches until this one right here. It starts out low, and that one short hops Perez back there, but he couldn't stop it. So now you get to out number 2.
Based on how that at bat went and the patience he showed prior to that, almost looks like he was guess hitting there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess you have to right there. You're thinking, okay, he's got to throw me something. He thought he was going to get that fastball down and in, and
as soon as it came out of his hand, he made up his mind he was going to swing.
Yeah, but then he throws it that low, you can't swing at it because of that changeup. You have to take it, I would think. But I mean, it's easier said than done because he's throwing mid-90s.
At times, he's hit 97 miles an hour. Might have hit 98 once as well. Guys will tell us that every once in a while you get to a ballpark and they'll estimate that the gun may be off a mile an hour or 2. But I think this one's pretty true tonight. And as you said earlier, he's got that extra day's rest, so that may account for just a little more giddy up.
I think so. That with the rain out yesterday, he was supposed to pitch. You get that extra day rest, that little bit stronger.
Alcides Escobar making his 199th consecutive start at the shortstop position.
You know, you come out there and his fastball, he's throwing some very good fastballs down, but he's already, this is going to be pitch number 88. We're only in the 4th inning.
2 down, runner at first, 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. He struck him out, and that's 7 for Salazar. 4 scoreless innings of work, and the Indians lead it 1-0. Before we do, let's take a look at the injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk and Elk. Ian Kennedy on the 10-day DL with a right hamstring injury, one of their starting pitchers. Jorge Soler talked about, figures to be in the outfield when he gets back and healthy. So in addition to their offensive woes, like every other team, it seems like they're dealing with injury problems.
Yes, indeed. There's a lot of pitchers going down now.
Yeah, who did you just
Paxton.
Oh, from Seattle.
Yeah, he went on the DL today. Would need a pitcher of the month in April.
Abraham Almonte taking a first pitch strike. Jason Hamill has fanned 5. He's given up 1 run on 3 hits in 4 innings.
Well, he's just throwing him curveball after curveball. Even in that first at bat, get me over for strikes, and then you expand it.
Back out of play. This is the middle stop on a 3-city road trip for the Indians. Supposed to play 4 in Detroit, but 1 got rained out, so instead of a 10-game road trip, reduced to 9. And Almonte down on strikes for the 2nd time tonight. Let's send it downstairs to Andre Knott.
Well, as most people know, Roberto Perez signed a new contract during spring training. One of the conversations and one of the people that he had a conversation with was with Salvi Perez during the World Baseball Classic. Salvi played for Venezuela, and they talked, and Salvi told Roberto, he says, if you go ahead and sign that contract, you'll relax, you'll play better, it'll help your family. You can worry only about baseball. He said he did it for me, and I became a better player when I did it. He goes, and if you become a great player like I did, you get a bigger contract. But Roberto said that helped relax him because there were people on both sides, saying, hey, don't sign it, sign it. But he was glad he talked to Salvi during the World Baseball Classic to make that decision.
Well, you would think, that's a guarantee right there, and he wasn't guaranteed of getting the starting catcher's job. So, as a backup, if you get a guaranteed contract, why not?
Broke his bat. 2 down.
Barrel went as far as the ball.
Arcia in the driver's seat tonight. Carlos Santana has had quite a career batting here at Kauffman Stadium. No Indians players ever hit more home runs in this yard than Santana. First pitch outside. I guess it makes sense to me, though, if you're Roberto Perez and you're looking for advice about a contract, who do you go to? Somebody named Perez. You keep it in the family.
Yeah, right.
Down low. Of course, Salvi Perez hails from Venezuela. Roberto from Puerto Rico. But I think that's one of those things, about baseball is that hey, there is a fraternity among players. Now, you want to beat each other when you're on the field, when you're playing against each other, but in between, try to help each other out if you can. Whether it's advice.
Sure.
I'm sure there were visiting players somewhere along the line that may have stopped you and said, hey, I'll give you whether it's a pick-me-up or a word of advice.
Or yeah, you could ask somebody about a tip if you're playing at the same position, or something like that. They could help you out. You learn from everybody. You want to get better as a player, you should ask questions. It doesn't matter where you get the help from.
Outside, full count. Francisco Lindor would be next as Santana
picks up.
Found a piece of the bat.
Yes, he did from Perez. He sure did. Hey, can you get the rest of this bat out of here?
I don't think the kid knew what he was called out there for. He was like standing like, what do you want? Take this from me. Take it. Oh, here goes the 3-2 now. And a bouncing ball fair. Ends the inning. Indians go in order for the 2nd time tonight. Progressive Field or 50 miles with Sandy Alomar when you bike to Cure and Belisano. Log on to belisano.org/Cleveland Indians to find out how you can team up with the Tribe. Ground ball right back up the middle. It's through. Whit Merrifield has his first hit today. And Kansas City has their leadoff man aboard for the first time tonight.
This is one that stayed on the ground. Nothing Salazar can do about it. That fastball stayed up a little bit. Took it right between his legs. So that's going to be hit number 5 for the Royals. They have the 4 singles and a double. But for the first time, they get their leadoff man on.
And Mike Moustakas, who has struck out twice, steps in. The Indians put 3 on the right side of the infield. Yanked. Base hit. Back-to-back singles have the Royals threatening here in the 5th now. 2 on, nobody out. And third time through the order, Lorenzo Cain coming up.
Yeah, he's not going to get buried in the count there. He went down and away with this, and he hooks it. And pulled it into right field. So they go back to back, and then you can see what Merrifield did right there. He didn't want to get doubled off on a line drive, so he had to hesitate. And they have a great start to this inning. 1st and 2nd, nobody out.
Lorenzo Cain has already been on base twice tonight.
Yeah, his last time up, it was an 0-2 changeup that he just flicked to right field.
The Indians will get the bullpen busy. Boone Logan. Left-hander getting loose. Wow. Close, but did not get the call. It's 1-1. Ground ball right at Lindor. He goes to Kipnis for 1 on to first. It's a double play.
Boy, oh boy, Danny needed that badly, and he made his pitch to get it. The 26th double play turn by the Indians, so that 2-for-1 ball can get him out of this inning. He came inside with it, and that fastball, and you see he muscled it up right to the shortstop. They turn it beautifully. 6-4-3, and now Mickey Callaway wants to go out there and talk to him because Hosmer the batter, and I think he's 2 for 2 tonight, so use your head here.
Especially because the guy on deck, he has struck out twice.
Yeah, you got to use your head. There's the breaking ball. He lined into right field the first time. Then he got a fastball in the second at bat inside and hit it for a double. So they're going to go out, do a little scouting report. Mickey had his say, and he will leave the field. I wouldn't expect to see too many decent pitches to Hosmer.
That's hammered. I don't know what he told him, but I don't think it was what he wanted to see. Into the fountains. On the first pitch, Eric Hosmer blast off, and it's 2-1 Kansas City.
Well, if he told him to throw a high fastball, he didn't get it up high enough, that's for sure. And And that's the last thing you want to do as a pitching coach is go out to that mound and the very next pitch the ball leaves the ballpark. That ball was right down the middle, but he didn't get it up enough. So with 2 outs and 1 swing of the bat, Kansas City will take the lead. Check out the pitch right there. I mean, middle in. What do you? He just hit the double on a fastball in the last time up. So not a very good pitch there by Salazar.
Boy, you just get the double play ball. I guess
he looks a little out of sorts now.
Well, the question I would have is, we set it up by saying that, look, you got Hosmer who's swinging it well. What has he got? 9-10 game hitting streak now.
Yeah,
he's got 2 hits in the game, and then the guy on deck you've handled both times tonight. If you can't execute the pitches you want to make, then just give the 4 signal and put them on.
Well, that's the thing. You know, that's why Callaway went out there. He went out there and say, hey, look, this guy's swinging it very well. You know, don't make a mistake with this guy. And he threw it right down the middle.
And Perez with a 2-out single keeps the inning alive. And here comes Tito. He's probably not happy at all with how this inning has transpired. 4 hits allowed, 2 runs in, and Kansas City has the lead. And Salazar cannot get through the 5th inning. So the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made. Indians trailing it 2-1. Salazar left to contemplate what could have been.
Yeah, made a bad pitch to the wrong guy.
Boone Logan on to face the left-handed hitting Alex Gordon with a runner at first, 2 down. Indians down a run here in the 5th. Blowing away, ball 1. with the shift. An easy play for Kipnis. And the inning is over. 2-run homer by Eric Hosmer has put Kansas City in front 2-1.
And access to Tribe Rewards, and today's Tribe Rewards code is Dobie. Visit Indians.com for complete details.
First time through the order, Jason Hamill walked 2, gave up 1 hit, struck out 3. Second time through the order, he struck out 3. He gave up 2 hits, 1 run. And now we're heading through that lineup for the 3rd time. He retired Santana to end the 5th inning. Now he's got Lindor, Brantley, and Encarnacion here in the 6th. But the Kansas City bullpen, double barrel action and firing. They know the story.
Yeah.
All too well. And Ned Yost, even though it's only a 1-run lead, he's going to try to protect it now.
Now getting to that point now where, you know, in his 5 starts, they're 0-5. Kansas City is with Hamill on the hill, so they've got that lead, albeit just 1 run.
Holds it foul.
I want to send along a very happy birthday, special happy birthday wish to Dave Reinhardt of Bascom, Ohio, turning 67 today, a huge Tribe fan. Dave, a happy birthday to you. Also Bob Wilson turning 95 today from Sandusky. Bob, happy birthday to you.
Chopped to second. Merrifield throws him out, 1 down. It's going to bring up Michael Brantley, who is 0 for 2 tonight. He has struck out and he has grounded out. Say the one thing that, you know, Hamill's done well here tonight is he's limited the extra opportunities. I mean, he has walked 2, but he walked the leadoff man in the 3rd, and he got out of that because we don't know what happened on that play, but Roberto Perez was thrown out trying to steal, and that's been it. other than the home run he gave up. But last year, when the Indians dominated the season series, Kansas City walked 75 Cleveland batters, which doesn't sound like a lot when you spread it out over 19 games. But Cleveland only walked 35. Nice play by Merrifield. 2 down.
That was a nice play. He got rid of it quickly. Never even got to his knees, and then he flipped it over there right on target to Hosmer. So he takes a hit away from Michael Brantley. He knew he had to hurry it. He gets it over there in time. So a very nice play.
It is somewhat of a luxury to be an infielder with a guy like Hosmer at first base, because you can throw it anywhere in the general vicinity. He's got such a long reach and good feet around the bag that he can turn a bad throw into an out.
Right, and you don't have to worry about making perfect throws all the time. Just get it in that, like you say, the general vicinity. He'll pick it. He'll catch it. That's what good first basemen do.
Well, Perez went out to talk to Hamill. Last time Encarnacion came up, he crushed one off of our camera in left field for a home run. And his first pitch misses outside, ball 1. He took a big hack, but fouled it off. In-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Edwin's homer, a solo shot in the 4th, gave the Indians the lead. But in the 5th, Hosmer smoked the fastball out of here to put Kansas City in front 2-1. That's been it. Indians have only 3 hits in the ballgame, and 2 of them off the bat of Jason Kipnis. A single in the 2nd, a double in the 4th. The only other hit belongs to this man, Encarnacion. Even though coming into tonight, the opponent's batting average against Jason Hamill was over 300.
He's going to make sure he gets the breaking ball down. He's not going to hang him one like he did last time. If not, see if he attacks him with that fastball. He's got a good fastball moving. Those are pitches that you can't even get a swing at. They're so far out of the zone.
Hamill is a guy who uses his slider just about 1/3 of the time, if not more so. That was a fastball, and Encarnacion could only foul it away.
Got a piece of Perez, so he's taking a little extra time back there.
Strike. 3-2 pitch. That fastball drilled right at Kane in center field. Indians go 1, 2, 3, 7 straight retired by Jason Hamill.
Hit KeyBank Kids Fun Day after the game. Stick around for Kids Run the Bases, presented by Cleveland Clinic's Children's. Just go to Indians.com for the tickets.
Jorge Bonifacio will lead off. The bottom of the 6th inning. He's 1 for 2 with a single. And misses inside, ball 1. Base hit left field. Bonifacio's 2 for 3. And the Royals have their leadoff man aboard for the 2nd inning in a row. T-Mobile Unlimited Baseball break. Marwin Gonzalez, 6 homers in 6 games.
Yeah, he's been hot. He has been some kind of hot.
Brandon Moss has walked and struck out tonight. And Logan pushing him back off the plate. Breaking ball outside part of the plate, evens it up in 1-1. Friday night in Kansas City, and it's a 2-1 ball game on a 2-run homer by Eric Hosmer in the 5th. Moss cuts and misses. He's in the hole.
Yeah.
Detroit, Oakland just underway out in California. They're in the 1st inning there, no score. Swing and a miss. Moss down on strikes, 1 down. Here comes Terry Francona. And it looks like we'll get a pitching change. Nick Goody will be coming on when we come back. Tribe down 2-1 in the 6th. talk about stepping right into one of the best bullpens in baseball. Making his 7th appearance. He's gone 9 innings. He's given up 2 hits.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable. Look at the opposition hitting just 77 off him. Slider's been a very good pitch for him. He'll come on and just try and get the next 2 outs if he can. Get that offense back in.
Alcides Escobar is 0 for 2 on the night. Missed inside, ball 1. Runner goes, base hit left field. And Brantley has to dive to cut it off. Into third is Bonifacio. They'll win away them home, and Lindor cannot get a throw off.
Well, Ned Yost started his runner there. They played the hit and run. And it's done to perfection. Escobar, he can put the bat on the ball. Brantley did a nice job of cutting the ball off, but they were going to be aggressive. They were going to try and score him, and he gets in easily because the ball is dropped by Lindor. That'll end the string of earned runs for the Indians bullpen. You can see it short hopped Frankie right there, and he just didn't in the transfer get it cleanly to where he could throw it. The ball just slipped out of his hand, so it's now a 3-1 ball game, and that run belongs to Boone Logan.
The bullpen streak ends at 35 scoreless consecutive innings. Whit Merrifield, 1 out of 3. He singled and scored in the 5th. Breaking ball and a good one over the outside corner, and it's 1-2. Looked like the pitch that Escobar hit might have been up, but he showed good plate coverage by going out and being able to hook that ball. And hey, when you put your runner in motion, sometimes it puts the onus on the hitter. Swung on and missed, strikes him out, 2 down. Well, you got to put the ball in play, and you know, a lot of times you just maybe eliminate a lot of thinking and just, hey, I'm going to put bat on ball here.
Well, he had the right guy there, Escobar. He can put the barrel of the bat to the baseball.
Timeout for another pitching change with the Indians down 3-1. has extended their lead to 3-1, and Mike Moustakas will be the batter. Brian Shaw, 13th appearance on the year, a win, no losses, an ERA of 3.27. In 11 innings, he has struck out 7 and he has walked 5. Mike Moustakas will bat with Escobar at second base and 2 out. Not quite a pure shift, with Lindor staying to the left of second base. Downstairs, ball 1.
Yeah, not like they had earlier in the game. But Kansas City with 10 hits, 6 in the last 2 innings. Both times they've been able to get their leadoff man aboard tonight as when they've been able to score.
Slowly chopped to first, should end the inning. Santana goes himself, and we go to the 7th. 3-1 Kansas City. On top 3-1 as we go to the 7th. Left-hander Scott Alexander in to pitch. He hasn't worked since Monday night, but he has done a very good job. And you know, for a left-handed pitcher, it's his numbers against right-handers that's really impressive. They're just 3 for 26 against him.
How about that? But what do they have? 4 left-handers coming out of their bullpen.
Yeah, Alexander, Mike Minor, Matt Strom, and Travis Wood.
Yeah.
Jose Ramirez has walked and flied out tonight. Indians have been out hit 10-3. Merrifield throws him out, 1 away. Great clip of the game from Wednesday was Jose Ramirez tripling in 2 runs into the right center field gap.
Yeah, and then a sacrifice fly by Kipnis, and that's the 3 runs all in that 1 inning. And they held on to win it 3-2. But boy, the offense has been sputtering on this trip.
Jason Kipnis has picked it up here with a single and a double off the wall. Just missed a home run his last time up. And a high strike call. Ground ball to second. Merrifield, another easy play. That's 9 in a row retired by Kansas City. And Lonnie Chisenhall coming up 0 for 2 tonight. Up and in, ball 1. He did not go, says third base umpire Tony Randazzo, and it's a 2-1 count. Twins lead the Red Sox 2-1 in the 7th in Minnesota. Tigers A's, no score there in the 2nd out in Oakland. Orioles beat the White Sox 4-2. Out of play. Broken bat roller to second base. And Merrifield has the hat trick. He assists on all 3 putouts here in the 7th inning. 10 in a row retired by Kansas City. Stretch time here at Kauffman. Bottom of the 7th inning. Bryant Shaw got the last out of the 6th. He'll stay on to work for the Tribe. Bounced it in there, ball 1 to Lorenzo Cain, who has walked, singled, and bounced into a double play. That
was a big play at that time in the ball game, the 5th inning, after they had the first 2 men aboard. Salazar came back, made a great pitch on him. They turned the double play, got to 2 outs. And then Callaway went out to talk to Danny. The very next pitch, Hosmer hit it into the fountains for a 2-1 lead.
In there for a strike. Out of play. Hit on the ground to third. Ramirez spins and throws on the money. 1 down. Well, as we promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Eric Hosmer has hurt the Indians tonight. He is 3 for 3 in the ball game with a single, a double, and then the crusher. A 2-run homer with 2 outs in the 5th inning. Hosmer has hit in 9 straight games and is 15 for his last 33 at the plate.
He's starting to warm up.
Now this is a pretty good triples park. Maybe not quite as triple friendly as it was, say, back during your era, maybe when they had the turf.
When they had the turf, right. But you can hit one and bring one down into that corner. If it gets underneath that fence, it can roll around. If you don't play it properly, and anything in the gap, you can forget about it anyway.
Ramirez throws out Hosmer, 2 down. Time for a game break. Nationals on the road against the Phillies. Ryan Zimmerman, you want to talk about hot? How about he's leading the National League in batting average, hitting .433. He's leading the league in homers with 12, RBIs with 31, multi-hit games with 15, hits with 45, total bases 92. He's slugging .885. That leads the league. 23 extra base hits. That leads the league. And he's second only to his teammate Bryce Harper in road batting average.
That's unbelievable. How about 92 total bases, and we're in Cinco de Mayo?
Yeah,
that's scary.
And the Nationals have beat the Phillies 4-2. And they had a dozen hits in that game. Only managed the 4 runs, but Steven Strasburg pitched well to get the win. He's 3-1. And Matt Albers picked up his first save in that game for the Nats. Salvador Perez struck out his first 2 times up, base hit his last trip in the 5th. White Sox had a game tonight against Baltimore. They had a dozen hits, but only scored 2 runs.
Yeah, how about that? In that ballpark. That's a rarity, huh? 12 hits and 2 runs in Baltimore. Good park to hit it.
Baltimore had 9 hits, but 4 runs on the board. They get the win. Good pitch. 3-1. Well, that's kind of like the Yankees at Wrigley today. They had 11 hits, only scored 3 runs, but they got the big home run.
Yeah, it came with the 2 outs in the 9th inning. And that wind was blowing out to right a little bit. It was a nasty wind out there today in Chicago.
And that same theme is present here tonight. Kansas City has 10 hits, but only 3 runs on the board. And now Alex Gordon 0 for 3 stands in with 2 down here in the 7th inning. That's another weird theme tonight. Danny Salazar 1, 2, 3. The first 3 innings that he pitched tonight, he had 2 outs, nobody on base, and then had to work hard to get out of those innings.
Yeah.
And here again in the 7th, 2 quick outs, and now a walk to Perez keeps it alive.
Yeah, they haven't had a 1-2-3 inning yet.
Well, good news, bad news, I guess. Good news is Danny Salazar didn't have any problems in the first 2 innings, at least in terms of giving up any runs. His only problem came in that 5th inning after he got the double play ball. He had a chance to put Hosmer around, or at worst just work around him. He grooved a fastball. Hosmer crushed it, and Kansas City took the lead, and they've added a run since. Now, having said that, you're not going to win many games in this league with 1 run on the board.
No, you're not. 3 hits and 1 run. Opportunities have not been there tonight offensively. And, you know, already 10 times this year, the Indians have scored 2 or less runs. 10 times. They're 1-9.
I believe it was the wise baseball philosopher Joaquin Andujar who said, in baseball you can sum it up with 1 word: you never know. Little number back to the mound. Shaw will flip it, and the inning is over. We'll head to the 8th. Kansas City 3, Cleveland 1. Authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Eighth inning, time running out for the Tribe. They need to get something rolling here with the offense. Kansas City goes to the back end of their bullpen. Joaquin Soria, the setup man, on for the 12th time this year. Indians will get a pinch hitter. Brandon Guyer to bat for Abraham Almonte. Interesting in that you think of Guyer as being that right-handed bat for left-handed pitching, but he's had a tough time getting it going this year. Abraham Almonte 0 for his last 10, and and struck out twice tonight.
Remember what you said, what Tito likes to do. You look at the next 2 games in this series, you've got left-handers pitching.
Yep.
So you may want to get him in there and get him an at-bat to get him going. It doesn't matter right-handed, left-handed. Sometimes you need to face a guy from the other side you might not be playing a whole lot from. Makes you concentrate, stay in on it, and maybe take him the other way.
No chase.
No chase. You have the count in your favor, so remain patient. You need a base runner to bring that tying run to the plate, so you sit on one pitch only. If you don't like it and it's not yours, you take it.
Swing and a miss. Good fastball from Soria. Kept it on the outside part of the plate. Chased one downstairs and strikes out, 1 away. Hey, don't forget, tomorrow it's only on FS1, Indians Royals. Coverage begins at 3. First pitch 4:15 Eastern. Josh Tomlin will go for the Indians, and Justin Kutcher, who joined us earlier tonight, Eric Karras will have the call. And later tomorrow night on Fox, Yankees Cubs at 7 Eastern. Roberto Perez with 1 out on the 8th. Arch, I mentioned earlier, the White Sox had a dozen hits in that game.
Yeah.
They lose to Baltimore because they only scored 2 runs. What makes that game even more weird, Wade Miley only lasted 2/3 of an inning. He got hit on back-to-back hitters. He got hit by
Are you kidding me?
But yeah, they hit back-to-backers, knocked them off of him. So he left the game. And Baltimore's bullpen, Michael Linoa came out of the pen with 6 innings, 6-hit shutout baseball.
Wow.
Crichton, O'Day, Brock closed it out.
For your bullpen. 6 innings from one guy. And didn't the night before their pitcher only go 1 inning? 2 nights ago.
I'm sorry, Gabriel Inoa was the Michael Inoa pitches for the White Sox. Yeah. So Gabriel Inoa. How about that? They both pitched. Michael Inoa went 2/3 of an inning for the White Sox. Gabriel went 6. What a weird game, though. If you're Chicago, you're figuring we knocked their starter out in the first inning. We're sitting pretty, and then Roberto Perez down on strikes. Offensively, the Indians are just searching for it right now. Santana 0 for 3 tonight. Well, the Royals pitching staff tonight, they kept the Indians' top 3 hitters off the bases. Santana, Lindor, Brantley 0 for 9 on the night. And without any table setters, tough to drive in many. Encarnacion accounting for the team's only run on a solo homer in the 4th.
That's they could not generate anything. They've only walked twice tonight as well. So you haven't been able to get anything going.
3-1. And I guess going back to my Joaquin Andujar quote, you know, about baseball, you never know. You're looking at this matchup tonight with Jason Hamill. He's struggled. He hasn't pitched well at all. 6.65 ERA. This should be a guy you should be able to put some at bats, get some hits, and he shut him down.
Yeah.
So where does that leave you right now?
Well, I'll tell you what. It's been a tough go. We said the offense on the road, they scored 6 runs when they were in Detroit. Right now they have 1, and it's on the home run, and that's basically how they've been scoring. If you don't hit a home run, you're not scoring a whole lot.
Yeah, tough to have a big.
I mean,
inning if you can't
the
string
pitching's
the
been
hits
fine.
together.
They've given up 3 runs. I mean, 10 hits is fine, but 3 runs, you're in a ball game. You've got to get 3 runs every night. But it hasn't been that way offensively for the Tribe.
Soria strikes out the side. Bottom of the 8th. Tribe goes back to the bullpen. And the 5th man to work tonight is Dan Otero, making his 11th appearance of the year. He's got the bottom third of Kansas City's order due up. Brandon Guyer is in right field. And Jorge Bonifacio will lead it off. He's 2 for 3, a couple of singles and a run scored. Okay, so Arch, right now Cincinnati is beating San Francisco 12-3 in the 6th inning. If that holds up, the Giants would fall to 11-19 on the year. Ouch. Toronto, what are they doing tonight?
They're winning.
They're winning.
They're 8-4 over Tampa, right? That's final.
Okay, so they're 10-19. So those teams, respectively, both in last place in their divisions. Whose chances do you like better to make it a race or potentially get themselves back in it at some point this year?
Good question, but the way it's going, I'm going to say Toronto, because the Giants, you know, they don't have their best pitcher, Bumgarner.
He's going to be out for at least another month or so.
Oh,
right?
easy, another month. We'll be lucky to get him back before the All-Star break.
1-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Otero strikes him out. Well, we'll see Toronto next up on this road trip. 3 games beginning Monday night, and they're figuring to get Donaldson and Tulowitzki back maybe by the time we get there. Or
they still got to get some. Yeah, they've got to get healthy. They've been injured.
Brandon Moss swinging a miss. Moss has struck out twice tonight.
Good job.
Otero with that sinker over the outside edge, or maybe that was a changeup, but it's 0-2.
Elevated it. That followed that changeup up with something upstairs instead of to take him off the sinker.
Ran the fastball upstairs and strikes him out. Back-to-back Ks for Otero. Revisiting our storylines brought to you by Mazda. Indians were hoping Jose Ramirez might have a chance to be the run producer tonight, but he was 0 for 2 so far with a walk and nobody on base when he came to bat. Danny Salazar got through the early part of this game with no damage, but he ran into trouble in the 5th. And that right now is the difference in the game.
Yep.
Alcides Escobar. A huge insurance run for Kansas City in the 6th with that RBI double.
Well, he started the runner, Ned Yost did, and it was a perfect time because this guy can put the ball in play. Brantley did a nice job of cutting it off. It didn't get by him. But on the relay or the transfer coming in to Lindor, he short hopped him with the throw. So it wasn't a real good throw from left. And then he ended up dropping the ball. So that was the insurance run there. The add-on run that they certainly needed.
Out of play right side.
I mean, that's the thing you have to love about Dan Otero. He just comes out throwing strikes. You know, he changes the eye level. And
we were joking before the game because he was walking into the pitchers meeting and he said, you know, hard in, soft away, hard in, soft away.
Yeah, right.
He's a sinker baller. His game plan really isn't going to change too much, I wouldn't think, based on the hitter. He's got to pitch to his strength.
He does too. He comes right at you. He makes him put it in play. He gets some easy outs, you know, early in the count because he pitches to contact.
Kelvin Herrera, the Royals closer, getting loose. Their former closer, Wade Davis. There was a big story in Chicago today because he wasn't in there in the bottom of the ninth. He had pitched 3 days in a row.
Exactly. Well, that was the situation. They had a few guys that couldn't pitch because they've been using their bullpen a lot recently. Hector Rondon that gave up the 3-run homer.
1-2 delivery. Close, but couldn't get him to bite. And it's 2-2.
Well, that was inside, just a hair inside, but he has been consistent tonight. This has been the best strike zone I've seen in a long time. As far as consistency goes, he has been that way all night long. Jerry Davis, the crew chief, good job tonight.
Dano's worked both sides of the plate,
yes,
though.
He has.
Just off in. That's right down the middle. And Lindor robs him with a terrific diving stab to end the inning. The Royals go 1-2-3. Otero punches out a pair, and Frankie says, no, sir. Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Alan Jensen had the highlights. They'll break it all down for you. I know Jensen's looking forward to talking about Danny Salazar and what he did better tonight to get through the early innings. And I'm sure he'll also want to take a look at what happened in that fifth on the pitch to Eric Hosmer right after Mickey Callaway left the mound. Fastball, Hosmer hammered it, and Kansas City took the lead for good to this point. Now, can they come back against KC's closer, Kelvin Herrera, who's 3 for 4 in save situation?
Yeah, not many opportunities when you're not scoring a lot of runs, but you know, he's covering 10 innings, 7 strikeouts, power arm, great fastball, great changeup, also a curveball, you know, for the closer. But the Indians just need one man on and hopefully you get that first man on to get that tying run to the plate.
Fastball, strike one. You know, at least this is a guy that the Indians have seen in the past. They've got a pretty good idea what he features, how he's going to go about attacking them. But if he executes with his arm, he can be one of the top closers, I would think, in the league as he gets more experience.
Yes.
When you can throw 97 and 98 miles an hour.
And he's got a great changeup at about 90.
Yeah.
And he also has a breaking ball if need be. Not that he necessarily needs it, but he's not afraid to throw it. I think the toughest thing for him is getting opportunities, at least to this point, to go out there and save games for him. They've been minimal.
Threw the bat at it, but Moustakas is there. One away. I'm sure the other question for Kansas City is, in this role, how will Herrera handle it when maybe he doesn't have that fastball command? And you know, we've seen Cody Allen grind his way through some some closing spots, some saves, because he knows how to figure things out when maybe he doesn't have his best stuff. Without the experience, will Herrera be able to navigate his way through some of those tough nights? Brantley 0 for 3. Only once in 9 innings did the Indians get their leadoff man aboard tonight.
There was a walk back in the 3rd inning, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's when Roberto Perez was thrown out trying to steal.
Well, he was safe stealing, but ended up coming off the bag.
Up and away, 2-1. "14 consecutive Indians hitters have been retired by Kansas City pitching. Last man to reach was Jason Kipnis in the 4th inning. And that was 2 batters after Edwin Encarnacion hit the home run to give him a 1-0 lead.
Now that's his changeup right there at about 90 miles an hour, 89, 90 miles an hour. He had to dig it out.
Weekly tapped at the second baseman, and there are 2 down.
See right there the difference, and it's only been fastball changeup for him. He hasn't thrown a breaking ball yet. That's going to be slower than 90 if he ever throws one.
Herrera fires, and a absolute BB to the outside corner at 98. In the air, right field a long way. Bonifacio to the wall, can't make the play, and it's right at the base. And into second base with a 2-out double is Encarnacion, and now the tying run will come to the plate. Boy, was that a nice swing by Edwin.
Well,
he's going to supply all the power, so he was just short to the ball.
Exactly. That's who supplied the power. You're right. After he threw that fastball, he goes right back out there again at 99. And look at the swing. He did supply the power. He gets it over the head of Bonifacio, gets to the base of the wall, and just stays right there. But they're still alive. With 2 outs, the tying run can come to the plate.
And now you've got Jose Ramirez, who was one of our storylines tonight. Can he be the run producer? He's 0 for 2. But in his last 19 games coming in, 18 runs batted in. He leads the club with 23. He started the night 4th in the league in RBIs and takes strike 1.
Yeah, he didn't start Jose up with a fastball. That was a changeup at 91.
Low and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, when it gets deep in the game, Ramirez at his best.
He's the guy you want up in a situation like this to keep it going. Get a base hit, maybe get you one closer.
Hits it off the end of the bat towards third. Moustakas throws. And the Royals win it. "3-1 is the final. As Kansas City ends an 8-game losing streak against Cleveland with a win in their first meeting of the year. After the Indians saw 15 consecutive hitters retired, Encarnacion with a 2-out double in the ninth. But he ends up stranded at second, and the Tribe falls 3-1 to Kansas City.
Yeah,
the winning pitcher will be Jason Hamill. He gets his first. And the loss to Danny Salazar, who's 2-3. Hamill, by the way, is 1-3. And the save to Kelvin Herrera, that'll be his 4th on the year.
Yeah, that's the first time that Kansas City has won with Hamill on the mound. Out of his 5 starts, they win tonight. That was his first win ever against the Indians. And once again, you know, it's just they could not score. The offense was not there, and the 11th time they have scored 2 runs or less.
3-1 is the final. Some final thoughts from KC when we come back.